For another update, let's take a look at PulseX over here on the daily time frame, and it looks like we're very close to bottoming out, and I actually think we'll bottom out right when ETH bottoms out. When we take a look here at ETH, okay, let's take a look here at ETH, and you can see that we don't really have that much room to the downside. I mean, if we were to come down, the worst case scenario would be that we would come down to the 786 here at 1891, which would be back testing this Wyckoff accumulation range here. Okay. Or it would have a truncation of the fifth and come down towards 2271 and 2217, and then you form a higher low structure and then go up from there. Either way, it does look like we still have a little bit more downside to go. And when we take a look at PulseX over here, we can see that this looks very close to bottoming out. Okay, if we look from current prices, right, to the 786, that's about less than 14%. Towards the 886, that's about 32%. When you take a look at it, 32% on a coin like this, it's really nothing because it bounces up really nice. And what we see over here going back to May 2023 is you have your 3-wave move to the downside for your A wave, your 3-wave move to the upside for your B wave, and then for your C wave, you're going to have a 5-wave move down. Okay, now it looks like we did break down from this bearish descending triangle over here. Okay, the technical target would take you around the 88.6% fib. Okay, so if we were to just clone this measurement, you see how it comes down to the 886? So around this region over here is where you would expect a hard bounce. Okay, within this entire region would be optimal for buying. Okay, because remember, if what really matters is the moves on ETH. Okay, now if we see a little bit more downside on ETH, it wouldn't surprise me the PulseChain ecosystem comes down with it, right? So we don't really have that much more room to come down here. All I did was I took a fib from our September 2023 low up to our high here on March 2024, and you can see that we did hold the 702 over here. We actually rallied a little bit over 70% here from the lows. You see, we rallied over 70% here from the lows, but then it ended up just becoming a sell-off. So we could say that this over here was our wave 4, and now we're coming down for a wave 5 towards the 786 and the 886 region. As we dip within this region, it would be optimal for DCA buys in there. Okay, because usually when you get towards the 702 is oversold, but come down to the 786, 886, that would be very oversold. We also see that on the 12-hour time frame, this price oscillator indicator is called every single bottom and top on PulseX. You can see that we made a higher high over here. So I'll put this like this so you guys can see. Okay, made a higher high on the price oscillator, but a equal high and a slightly lower high on the price, and then we dumped, and then we made a lower low on the price, higher low on the oscillator, and then we pumped, right? Lower high on the oscillator, higher high on the price, dump. You see? And then over here in March, lower high, higher high, called the top. Okay, and now throughout this whole entire downtrend, we've kind of just been rounding off very slowly, going sideways, but not coming down very fast like this, like a shitcoin would do, but kind of just slowly rounding off. You guys see that? And as we're slowly rounding off there, and making consecutive lower lows, you're making consecutive higher lows on the price, and you're holding this uptrend. So what I would expect here on the price oscillator is for it to come down here, right? But still hold a trend and then continue up from there. And then when we take a look at the price, So let me just remove all these drawings over here. If we take a look at the price, we would be expecting a move down towards the 78.6% fib. Okay, so right over here at 4015 to 401184. And if we did come down here, I'm sure the bounce would be very quick. Then because we've never really had our impulsive move to the upside in the PulseChain ecosystem. This whole move has just been corrective. 3, 3, 5. That's your Elliott wave flat pattern. And then for your next leg in the market, it would be the first time we had that impulsive move to the upside. Okay. So yeah, this is PulseX over here, and would be expecting a move up towards the 4.236% extension. All I did was I took a fib from this high in May down to this bear market low in September 2023. Look at your 2.618 sitting at 3.5, 3.618 sitting at 4.7, and then your 4.236 is at 5.5. Okay, now it's likely going to go higher than this, right? But we want to look at our most conservative targets. So we're going to use the linear fibs from your all-time high to your all-time low on the log scale, because we want to be as conservative as possible. A little bit more of an aggressive target would be the 1.786 on the log scale, which would be just the one-to-one target of this range that we have over here. Okay, you guys see that? So from this oversold region over here, let's say it comes down to the 886, that's about 10,000% from that low up to from the 786, that's about 7,800%. So that's pretty good. And then we have intermediate targets would be at over here at the 702 and the 786. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the PulseX video. It does look like this is going to come to an end at around September 2nd to 15th. Okay, so around early to mid-September is where I would expect that nice pop up to the upside. And of course, we'll definitely be taking a look at ETH at the same time. So we'll take a look at PLS as well. And what we see over here on PLS, let me see here. Okay, let's take a look at PLS. And you guys can see it's the exact same structure. You guys see that? 335 Elliott wave flat pattern. Right? And we're in a bullish descending broadening wedge over here. Not much downside to go. So yeah, pretty good. The whole ecosystem looks like it's about to bottom. We'll also take a look at incentive token here. And exact same thing. You guys see that? Bullish descending broadening wedge. We're just finishing up this fifth wave over here. And we're likely going to come towards the 618-702 region. All I did to find that was take a fib from this low over here up to this high. And you can see already that we lost the 50%. We lost the 50%, so the next support would be the 618 at $1.37, and worst case scenario, $1.04. And then we see a nice pop up from there for our next leg in the market. Okay, so that's PulseX, PLS, incentive. Let's take a look at Hex. Okay, we'll take a look at another pair here. I remember charting it on another pair. This one right over here. Okay, so just Wyckoff accumulation. Bullish descending broadening wedge. You have your 3 wave move down, your 3 wave move up, and then your 5 wave move to the downside, and then you have an ending diagonal here within your 5th wave acting as a bullish descending broadening wedge. And it looks like within this 5th wave, we're currently within this C wave to the downside. Okay? And then we see a nice pop up from there. So you have your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, 4, and then your 5. And usually in a ending diagonal or a diagonal pattern, your 5th wave tends to extend, especially because we're in such a highly over leveraged market. So you'll see something like this. You'll probably come down below this wedge here and then round off very violently from there. So that's Hex. We'll take a look at CoinTrader, CoinTrader Pro, and we'll take a look at eHex as well. This is Hex right over here. Same thing, right? Ending diagonal, coming towards the 70.2 to 78.6% fib. Like I said in my last video, be very careful and make sure not to pile in all your money here, because you mustn't forget that we're still within this ending diagonal here. So you're going to experience a lot of chop. So DCing in here would be the best, would be the most ideal if you wanted to buy a coin like this. Okay, if we take a look at the monthly time frame, we do see that the MACD is turning up from towards the 0 line. You guys see this MACD? Look at this MACD over here, turning up towards the 0 line. Okay, so we're extremely oversold, and we're also within the 70.2 to 78.6% fib region. Like I say in all my videos, come down to the 702, 786. That's where the algos in crypto like to take it before you tend to see a hard market reversal. And when Hex pumps, a lot of money is going to flood into the ecosystem because they're going to think that it's going to do one of these, right? But you must remain cautious with a coin like Hex. Let's say it came down to the 786. We would be targeting the 702 and the 786 to the upside, sitting at 6 to 11 cent. Okay, if it were to just be a relief rally, it would likely come up to the 702, 786. Worst case scenario, it just comes up to the 50%. But from my experience, we do see relief rallies always come up to the 702, 786, and then reverse from there. If we were to really do something a little bit more impulsive, it would likely mean that this would be your A wave. This is your B wave, and then you have a C wave up beyond this high. To me, this is the less likely scenario, but for now, we do see that the whole ecosystem is about to bottom out. We see eHex, we see pHex bottoming out, PulseX, PLS, and incentive token. We just have a little bit more downside to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to stay updated, then definitely click the link in the description below. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.